Welcome to another video. This is a follow-up to the previous video about the 6-year-old taking a gun to a school and shooting the teacher. So I found something online from NPR, from Red River Radio, and it's titled, "A 6-year-old shooter raises difficult questions for the criminal justice system." Okay, this was posted on the 10th date of January 2023 at 9:59 a.m. Eastern Time. And it reads as follows. Police say a 6-year-old student shot his teacher at a Virginia elementary school on Friday, and authorities face a difficult and uncomfortable question. How should they prosecute a crime committed by a first grader? The investigation is ongoing into the shooting at Richneck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, but police have not wavered in their determination that the attack was deliberate. She was providing instructions. He displayed a firearm. He pointed it, and he fired one round, Steve Drew, the city's police chief, said in a Monday press conference. This shooting was not accidental. It was intentional. Authorities said the child acquired the gun at home and brought it to school in his backpack. The gun had been legally purchased by his mother, so the 6-year-old is a boy. Okay. The victim, 25-year-old teacher Abigail Zinner, was struck in the hand and chest and is in stable condition. At least 16 other children were in the room at the time, police said. The shooter and most of the witnesses are so young that police must work alongside juvenile system specialists, child psychologists, and child protective services to conduct the investigation, the chief said Monday. When asked if authorities would prosecute charges against the child or his parents or guardians, Drew replied that no decision will be made until after the investigation had been completed. Very young children are generally protected from prosecution. Obviously, this is a tragedy on every level, said Julie Ellen McConnell, a law professor at the University of Richmond, who directs the school's Children's Defense Clinic. All 50 states, including Virginia, have a juvenile justice system. But with a child so young, traditional principles like punishment, accountability, and rehabilitation don't really apply, McConnell said. As a 6-year-old, he just doesn't have the intellectual capacity to even understand how to form the intent to commit a crime like this. Virginia law does not set a minimum age for criminal defendants. The state's juvenile detention facilities have a minimum age of 11. But very young children are generally protected from criminal prosecution under a legal doctrine called the infancy defense. Criminal defendants must be found competent to stand trial. Such a determination would be challenging to make about a 6-year-old, McConnell said. Instead, authorities may prosecute a child in need of services pension. She said such a declaration would allow a court to order social services, including counseling. The child's parents could face liability. The firearm used in the shooting, a 9mm Taurus handgun, had been legally purchased by the child's mother, police said Monday. The gun had been stored in the family's home, police said, though they declined to share further details about how it was secured or how the child knew where the gun was. There, the child obtained the gun, placed it in his backpack, and brought it to school, Drew, the police chief, said. In Virginia, a historically permissive state for gun policy, is a misdemeanor to recklessly leave a loaded, unsecured firearm in such a way that it could cause injury to a child under the age of 14. The statute is designed for simulations in which a child harms another child, experts said. In this case, the victim was 25 years old. However, allowing a minor to access that gun, leaving it unsecured, certainly could have endangered the life or limb of that child himself, said Allison Armerman, senior counsel and director of local policy at Giffords Law Center to prevent gun violence. So I do think that this law could be used to hold accountable to adults, to be accountable to adults. Otherwise, prosecutors may be left to draw on the state's criminal negligence statutes to bring a case against a parent, McConnell said. The child is currently receiving treatment at a medical facility under an emergency court order, police said Monday. A judge will determine if we continue with that temporary detention order if treatment or evaluation continue, the police chief said, or what the next steps may be. I think they should hold the parents of that 6-year-old accountable. Like, it's just crazy to me that a 6-year-old gets a gun, puts the gun in his backpack, and takes it to school, pulls the gun out of his backpack, aim it at his teacher, squeeze the trigger, and hit the teacher. Like, this is just surreal to me. And it is, like, yeah. The parents should get the heat for this. News reporters from different news agencies were interviewing the parents of children who went to Richneck Elementary School and they interviewed them and asked them what are their reaction on the 6-year-old bringing a gun to the school to shoot a teacher. Most of the parents, well, I don't say like some of the parents just gave weak, lackluster interviews that didn't pinpoint the problem behind all of this on the 6-year-old bringing the gun to Richneck Elementary School to shoot its teacher, his teacher. But there's one parent that just completely nailed it. And she is a parent from the United Kingdom. She's British. and I found something about her on The Independent online, and it's titled Furious British Parent at Virginia School Where 6-Year-Old Shot Teacher Calls for Change. Why is it so bad? Guns, okay, that's the biggest problem in this country. British Moom blasts U.S. gun laws after 6-year-old shoots teacher. And it reads as follows. A British mother gave a furious reaction after a 6-year-old student at her child's school in Newport News, Virginia, shot and critically injured a teacher on Friday. A Richneck elementary school teacher, identified by local news reports by Abby Zintner, was indirectly shot by the young student after an alleged altercation in the classroom, police said. Ms. Zintner, whose condition had improved by stable on Saturday, was praised by parents for warning her students to flee as she lays bleeding on the classroom floor. Speaking outside the school on Friday, the unarmed parent told WTKR she was furious at the lack of gun regulations in the United States. Speaking with an English accent, she told WTKR, "Guns, okay, that's the biggest problem in this country." Why is it so bad? Why is there a 7-year-old with a bloody gun? She said, speaking before police revealed the alleged shooter's age was 6. Come on, think about it. Let's do something. We've got a new governor now. Let's do something. Let's change it. She compared the shockingly high levels of gun violence in the U.S. to the United Kingdom, which has one of the lowest rates of deaths from gun violence in the world. Speaking of the United States, she said, "You've got a beautiful country. You've got beautiful people. But what's the problem? Guns, that's what I'm pissed off with." She said that she only lived in the U.S. because her husband served in the military. Otherwise, I would not have chosen to come to this country. A 2002 total number of gun deaths in the U.S. was 44,257, or around 13.7 per 100,000 people, according to Gun Violence Archive. Around half of those were suicides, the site stated. Figures from the UK Parliament said Britain has seen 35 homicides by shooting in the year of the 31st of March 2021. The United Kingdom has some of the strictest gun ownership laws in the world. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, a Republican elected in November 2021, said in a statement on Friday that he was praying for the continued safety of all students in the community. Gun control activists have urged Mr. Youngkin to enact stronger gun laws in the state after 2 mass shootings in November. 3 University of Virginia students were allegedly shot and killed by a former teammate on the 13th of November. Then a disgruntled employee at a Walmart in Chesapeake opened fire in a break room on the 22nd of November, killing 6 co-workers before turning the gun on himself. Fred Gutenberg, whose daughter was killed in the 2018 Parkland school shooting, tweeted at Mr. Youngkin, "It happened under your leadership. Instead of dishonestly, reach out and let's work together to solve this." After the Uvalde school shooting in May, the U.S. Congress passed the nation's first gun control laws in decades. The new law imposed tougher checks on young gun buyers and provided funding to encourage states to implement red flag laws to remove firearms from those considered a threat. Sorry, folks, I got off track on this, so let me go back to what the British mother said. Okay, this is what the British mum says. Guns, okay, that's the biggest problem in this country. Why is it so bad? Why is there a 7-year-old with a bloody gun? Come on, think about it. Let's do something. We've got a new governor now. Let's do something. Let's change it. You've got a beautiful country. You've got beautiful people. But what's the problem? Guns. That's what I'm pissed off with. She said that she only lived in the U.S. because her husband served in the military. Otherwise, I would not have chosen to come to this country. And she said it best. She hit the nail on the noggin. Yeah. Yeah, she says she's here living in the United States because her husband is in the military. And she said if it wasn't for that, like, she wouldn't come to this country, period. I don't blame her. Because, this country has way, way, way too many guns. Too many guns. And no gun control that leads to people with a mental illness, a criminal record, to have easy access to a gun. Because it's the guns. It's way, way, way too many guns. And nothing's not going to be done about it. Yeah, the United States is a beautiful country, and it is. And the British woman said that this country has a lot of beautiful people. But, what she failed to mention is, there's good people in this country, and there's not so good people in this country. And the ones who aren't good are letting a lot of bad things happen. They're against gun control to keep guns out of the hands of a 6-year-old and people who shouldn't have a gun. Period. But, like I said, nothing's not going to be done. There's nothing else to say. We're going to see, like, children under the age of 14 bringing guns to school and shooting their teachers. And we're going to continue to have mass shootings at schools and at public places like parks and movie theaters and grocery stores and Walmarts and Targets and the mall and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because what is the answer to all of this? There is no answer. Just arm the teachers at schools with guns. Everybody just buy a gun. Arm everybody to the T. Turn everybody into Rambo. Just have mass shooting drills. Mass shooting drills / active shooter drills. Turn schools all over America, the United States, into lockdown prisons. Having security guards, fence up and gate up schools. Put every police officer in every school to have a gun. I guess if a child throws a fit in class, the police just takes the child down like an adult slap the handcuffs on that child and take that child to jail. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. This isn't normal. But, it just shows that the United States of America is a fucked up, socially backwards nation. This country is so goddamn backwards. And it is. Winston Wu said it best. The United States is just boring and empty. No playfulness, no fun, no nothing. It's just all business and all being serious all the time. Just being serious. All business and being super, super serious. No nonsense. If I was from another country, let's say I'm not an American. Let's say I'm from, oh, you know what? I don't give a shit. Let's just say I'm from I'm from Senegal in Africa. And and I see how America is on TV, how the United States is. I see all the mass shootings. I just see all the problems and just see how messed up the US is. Do you obviously think that I'm going to move to this country, move to the US after seeing what I saw on TV? Of course not. I wouldn't go near this country, period. I wouldn't go near it. You know? If I do end up in the US, I'm going to say, well, I'm just here to go to school and get an education. After graduating from a university and get my bachelor's degree or whatnot, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm going back to Senegal. Yep. Yep, that's what I would do if I was a non-American. Well, yeah. A 6-year-old carrying a gun to school in his backpack, brings the gun to school in the backpack and gets to the classroom, pulls the gun out of the backpack and aim it at the teacher and shoot the teacher. Yeah. So, when I heard about this, I thought it was a joke, but it was real. It was real. I just couldn't believe it. So there. So, that's all I gotta say in this video. Thank you for watching the video. Au revoir.